Okay, we are live and recording. So as I go through here, you do have the ability to do a group chat. And so if you want to type in any questions along the way into the chat, I'll be glad to answer those. Or if you need to stop me for any reason, feel free to do so. So the first thing, I already shared with everybody the TAC training one-pager. It's the same format that we've had for the past several years. Greg is in here as well. Greg Kite, we're not related, just so you know, because we do get that asked on a daily basis. So Greg has a computer in here as well, so we're going to kind of tag team it, and he's going to remind me if I forget anything and all that. Okay, so on this one pager, you'll notice that we do have the Eduphoria e-course, again, available this year. For your new teachers, I would highly encourage all of them to go ahead and take this e-course. It does go through all the videos, and they do get the 1 hour of credit for having signed in and completed that course. So basically, they're going to go to the Rapid Identity or My Umble. They're going to open up Eduphoria. They're going to go into the workshop and then register for the e-course called 2019-20 TAC Teacher Training Videos. There's a green plus sign in order to register, and then they can go to the course content tab and view each chapter. Each chapter does contain these videos inside. So that's really the best way for a new teacher to get introduced to the gradebook. These are a little bit, well, they're not super in-depth, but they're enough to get any teacher going in the gradebook. The other thing I wanted to remind you all of is that inside the gradebook is the TAC manual. It is embedded in the gradebook, so they don't have to have this TAC manual PDF link. They can just go straight into their gradebook. But regarding these videos, each one does cover a slightly different topic. We're not going to take the time to watch these videos now because I know that you all can click the links and watch those later if you haven't already. These are redone videos. They've been upgraded and updated and all of that for this year. So we are in much better shape. So we have the different videos based off of the grade level that the teacher teaches for entering actual grades. A couple of little things that you want to be sure to point out to your new and returning teachers is that we do have gradebook categories hard-coded, so to speak, for all of the core subjects. For elementary, they're all hard-coded as all work, so you don't have to worry about that 60-40 and all that. That's for secondary. Another super important reminder as you're working with your teachers, remind them that they are required to submit attendance during the official attendance time. They can only submit attendance one single time. Once they do that, if changes need to be made, then they would just simply email those changes to the campus attendance specialist, including the students and the student IDs whose changes are needed. So super important to point that out to your teachers. I know that in the past, a lot of the elementary campuses have sort of rotations during in-service days, and I'm hoping that you get a little bit of FaceTime with your new and your returning teachers regarding gradebook so that you can walk through some of these different videos with them. Obviously, for your returning teachers, nothing major has changed, just a couple little nuances that they may want to be aware of. Okay. There is one big thing that we definitely need to talk about, and that is the discipline referrals. So it has been decided that for this upcoming school year, every single elementary campus will be doing the TAC discipline referrals. So discipline referrals will go through the teacher's grade books, except for two campuses. Those two campuses are Humble Elementary and Green Tree Elementary. All other campuses are doing the discipline referrals through the teacher gradebook. So make sure you're aware of that, and you probably will be asked to train your teachers on how that works. So you will definitely want to look at this video 5. It does cover a few other things besides just discipline referrals, but I think there's email and class roster and maybe a couple of other things. Seating chart are also included in that video, but discipline is a big thing. So because you will potentially be required to train your teachers on this, I want to make sure that you have seen it in addition to just the video. So I'm going to walk you through how it works. So I'm going to go into, I'm actually in the test environment, just so you know. I'm gonna be working kind of with real students, but it's not gonna create a real discipline referral for these students. So I'm going into TAC, and I think, isn't Kelly on this somewhere? Is Kelly logged in? Let's see. I don't see her, but she may be viewing with someone else. Okay, well, anyway, I'm copying Kelly, or impersonating her, I should say. Okay, so this one is a first grade teacher, as you can see. So there's two big things going on with classroom issues and classroom referrals, or with discipline referrals. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of the difference because you're the TAC trainer. So let's talk about the first thing, classroom issues. So if you have just some, I hate to say piddly, but let's say piddly, some piddly little classroom issues. So little Johnny is doing something, I don't know, he's pulling Susie's hair, and it's not enough to warrant sending him out of the room. It's not enough to warrant sending him to the AP yet, but it's something that you want to keep track of. Then you would want to record a classroom issue. So all campuses can record classroom issues inside of their gradebook, even Humble L and Green Tree. So the first thing you want to do whenever you're going to submit or whenever you're going to enter a classroom issue is go to the period or the section that this student is in, because I know that some of your teachers have the switch classes, and so you want to make sure that you're starting on a class that you know this child is in. Obviously this is a first grade teacher without switches, so there's just, you know, the same kids in all of these. There's two ways to get to classroom issues. You can either click the exclamation mark beside that course, or you can go up to the top where it says interventions, and you can drop down classroom issues. Either way gets you to the same thing. This is the classroom issues, and notice I'm on the primary homeroom right here. So if it were one of my switch classes that this student is in, then I could change it to the switch class where that student is located. Okay, so once I'm on classroom issues for the right class, then I need to go ahead and enter this issue. Now again, these are just piddly little things that you're not referring to the administrator yet. You're just going to keep track of things that have happened with this particular child. So you're going to enter a type, disruption, insubordination, other, or safety issue. I'm just going to do disruption. The location would more than likely be your classroom. There is no need to ever click this issue is resolved, never necessary. Once you resolve it, it's done, it's over, you can't make any changes to it, so I would not recommend doing that. On the notes, just type in what happens. So let's just say student pulled another student's hair. Hard. Okay, once you have the issue written out, the notes, you're going to go down to the student section and add the right student. So let's just say this little guy did it. All right. I apologize if Tristan's mother is watching this. He really didn't do it. This is just an example here. Okay, so you add the student, the offender, and then after that, you want to go into the teacher actions area. So you're going to click the plus sign. You're going to add your teacher action. So you're going to put in the date that it occurred. So I'm going to put T, and it's going to populate today's date. I don't know if you knew that little trick, but it's kind of handy. T for today's date. For the teacher action, you can put what you did. Let's just say redirect. You can put the action start date. You can put the end date. You can put the time. I highly recommend that teachers put in the time because it's very handy to know what time of day these things are occurring. And then you can put completed. Again, I don't recommend putting action completed because it's going to end it. So let's just leave that check mark off. And then parent contacted, if you did, great, fantastic. This will help you document those contacts. And then you can write down what exactly occurred, moved his seat, and called mom at whatever number, and then say okay. All right, so we have now documented a classroom issue for this one particular child. And so once you save it, it is now saved. Just so you know, this is only saved in this teacher's grade book. This is not saved for the administrator. The parents do not see this. This is simply for the teacher. And notice you can see exactly what occurred. And then up here is a little issues list. You can click that list and you would then be able to see all issues you have. Oh, I need to get out of that screen. All issues that you have entered for the school year. Actually, we must have been playing on hers. Well, no, this is from last year's and it's a copy. So she would have had some classroom issues in the past. Okay, so that was classroom issues. Another thing that you can do is you can link those issues together, and then you could even refer all of those issues for that one child together. You could make it into a discipline referral. So what I want you to be aware of is in the teacher's gradebook under tools, there is a TAC manual. And in that TAC manual is a whole section on the discipline referral. And so I have actually pulled those pages out and made it into like a little 4-page handout. And so if you are interested in having just the discipline referrals portion of it, rather than you having to go in and copy and paste and everything, I'm happy to email those to you. So email me at dkite, K-I-T-E, at humbleisd.net and ask for those, the 4-page discipline section, and I'll be happy to email that to you. So the linking of classroom issues is not complicated, but not everybody will actually utilize that function. And so I'm not going to take your time up and go through it right now, but you can certainly look inside the manual and know how to do that. So that was classroom issues. So let's say that a student does something that is definitely worthy of being sent to the AP. So this is an actual referral. You can go into the interventions tab and do conduct referrals. Okay, conduct referral is a little bit different in that this student does not have to be a student in your class. It could be a student anywhere else in the building. It could be a student that was walking by in the hallway and did something that needs to be referred to an AP. So we're on the conduct referral page. You do need to enter what occurred. Student, what did student do, Greg? That's worthy of an AP. Punched another student. That's pretty worthy of an AP, I think. Okay, so you put in your building. You put in the date it occurred. You put in the time it occurred. You put in the type. That was, I would say, a safety issue. And you put in the location. Let's say this one happened in the hallway. Okay, you then do have to add a student to this. So notice though, when you say add students, you get this little pop-up. You do need to enter as much information as you possibly can about the student because, for example, we have a whole lot of students named, I don't know, John Smith or whatever. So you need to make sure that you're choosing the right student. And so if you just put in, I don't know, Johnson, and first name D.A., and then you just say search, notice you're going to get a whole bunch of students. The other thing I want you to notice is you get students who are graduated, inactive, active, you get all of that. So please try to narrow it down before you even search. So always use status A for active. Notice it narrowed it down to only 11 with last name Johnson, first name containing DA. So the more you know about the student, the more you can enter. And so then if you even put grade 3, you can narrow it down even further. If you put in the building number, you can narrow it down even further. So again, make sure you're looking for the right student and simply attach that student. Actually, I need to put one who's at Foster, now that I think about it. Oops, I put that in the wrong field. Active, last name, I don't know, J-O. Okay, so once you decide who that is, you just click the box beside the student, say okay. You have now added that student to this conduct referral. The last thing you need to do is, wait, where did I go? Up here. Nope. There. Okay, so the last thing you need to do is click the refer button. This will refer it to the administrator immediately. And by referring it to the administrator, that means that it is going straight into eSchool on the administrator's side so that they can then call the student in. They can write it up as an incident, you know, with an action code and all of that on the eSchool side. So that is how a referral works. The other thing that you can do is you can add more than one student if there were, say it was a fight where the other student had, you know, fought back, then you would want to go ahead and add an additional student or 3 students or whatever it is that you needed to do. Okay, so if you have any questions, either go ahead and ask them right now, type them into the chat, raise your hand, whatever you need to do, but let me know if you have any questions at this moment. Okay, I am not seeing any questions at all. So back to the one-pager. Again, you've got the e-course for anyone who wants to log into that and register for the e-course in Eduphoria. They can actually take that course and get an hour of off contract. These are the individual video links so that you can show the videos to, say, a group of teachers, or you can have them log in or not log in, just go to the video links and watch them themselves. This again is the link to the TAC manual, or like I mentioned before, any teacher can go into their tools section and pull out the TAC manual right there. And oh, that other thing that's on here, the district policy, no single grade can be worth more than 25% of the 9 weeks average. Really, really important that your teachers observe that. So say you're in the math grade book, if you only have 3 grades for an entire 9-week period, then obviously each of those is worth more than 25% of the 9-week average. So that cannot happen. They would be going against district policy. So really, that's the part I have to cover, unless you have specific questions or want me to show you anything else inside the grade book. So speak up or type a message in the chat. Let me know what other questions you have. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions, so thank you so much for your time. That was a pretty brief 23-minute session or less. As always, feel free to email me or email Tanya McKenzie. That's TMCKINZ. Wait, IMCKINZ. Yes, at humbleisd.net. Either one of us can help you out with any of your TAC questions. So have a great day.